The Kosovo War, a brutal conflict fought between 1998 and 1999, left an indelible mark on the Balkan Peninsula. This war was not just a series of battles, it was a profound upheaval that reshaped the lives of countless individuals and communities. This war, characterized by ethnic violence, political turmoil, and international intervention, continues to shape the region's landscape. The scars of the conflict are still visible today in the form of divided communities and ongoing political tensions. The conflict primarily fought between the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, which included Serbia and Montenegro, and the Kosovo Liberation Army, a group representing Kosovo's Albanian population, arose from long-standing ethnic tensions and political disputes. These tensions had been simmering for decades, fueled by historical grievances and a struggle for autonomy. The Kosovo War was not merely a territorial conflict, it was a clash of identities, a struggle for self-determination, and a stark reminder of the human cost of intolerance and political manipulation. The war led to a massive refugee crisis, with thousands of people displaced from their homes, seeking safety in neighboring countries. The war's legacy continues to cast a long shadow over Kosovo and the wider region. Efforts to rebuild and heal have been ongoing, but the memories of the conflict remain fresh in the minds of those who lived through it. Understanding this conflict requires delving into the historical context, the key players, the international community's role, and the lasting consequences of the war. The international community's response, particularly NATO's intervention, played a crucial role in shaping the outcome of the conflict. This essay aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the Kosovo War, examining its origins, the key events that shaped its course, and its enduring impact on the region. From the initial skirmishes to the major battles, each event played a significant role in the unfolding of the war. By exploring the complex interplay of historical grievances, political ambitions, and international interventions, we can gain a deeper understanding of this pivotal moment in Balkan history. The war's impact is still felt today, influencing the political landscape and the relationships between the countries in the region. As we look to the future, the lessons of the Kosovo War remind us of the importance of dialogue, reconciliation, and the pursuit of lasting peace. The path to healing is long and arduous, but it is a journey that must be undertaken for the sake of future generations. To truly grasp the complexities of the Kosovo War, one must journey back in time to understand the deep-seated historical tensions that fueled the conflict. These tensions are not recent phenomena, but have roots that stretch back through the centuries. For centuries, Kosovo has been a melting pot of cultures and ethnicities, with a significant Albanian Muslim population living alongside a smaller Serbian Orthodox community. This diverse coexistence has created a rich cultural tapestry, but it has also been a source of friction. This coexistence, however, was often marred by periods of conflict and mistrust, rooted in competing historical narratives and claims to the land. Each group has its own version of history, often at odds with the other, leading to a cycle of resentment and hostility. The Battle of Kosovo in 1389, a pivotal moment in Serbian history, solidified Kosovo's significance in Serbian national identity, becoming a symbol of Serbian heroism and sacrifice, despite the Ottoman Empire's subsequent control of the region. The Ottomans ruled Kosovo for centuries, further complicating the ethnic and political landscape. Over time, the demographics of Kosovo shifted, with the Albanian population growing significantly. This demographic change was driven by higher birth rates among Albanians and migration patterns. By the 20th century, Kosovo had become a majority Albanian region within Serbia, a situation that would become increasingly contentious. The Albanian majority sought greater autonomy and recognition, while the Serbian minority feared losing their historical and cultural ties to the region. The seeds of the Kosovo War were sown in the policies of Serbian nationalist leader Slobodan Milošević, who rose to power in the late 1980s. Milosevic's rhetoric and policies were aimed at consolidating Serbian control over Kosovo, exploiting Serbian grievances and fears of Albanian dominance. Milošević revoked Kosovo's autonomy in 1989, stripping the region of its self-governing status and exacerbating ethnic tensions. This move was seen as a direct attack on the rights and identity of the Albanian population. This move was met with widespread protests from Kosovo Albanians, who saw it as an attempt to suppress their culture and identity. The revocation of autonomy ignited a series of events that would eventually lead to the outbreak of war, as the Albanian population sought to resist Serbian control and assert their own national aspirations. The revocation of Kosovo's autonomy proved to be a turning point, igniting a wave of Albanian resistance that would eventually escalate into armed conflict. This decision by the Serbian government was seen as a direct attack on the rights and identity of the Albanian population in Kosovo, leading to widespread unrest and a sense of urgency among the people to reclaim their autonomy. Initially, this resistance was largely peaceful, led by figures like Ibrahim Rugova, who advocated for non-violent resistance and international pressure on Serbia. Rugova's approach was inspired by the principles of civil disobedience and aimed at garnering global support for Kosovo's cause. Peaceful protests, diplomatic negotiations, and appeals to international organizations were the primary strategies employed during this phase. However, the increasingly repressive measures employed by Serbian authorities, coupled with frustration at the lack of progress through peaceful means, led to the emergence of a more militant faction within the Kosovo Albanian community, the Kosovo Liberation Army. The KLA's formation marked a significant shift in the resistance movement, as many Albanians began to lose faith in the effectiveness of non-violent methods. Founded in the early 1990s, the KLA's stated goal was to achieve independence for Kosovo through armed struggle. The organization quickly gained traction, recruiting members who were disillusioned with the slow pace of diplomatic efforts. The KLA's operations included training camps, strategic planning, and the establishment of a network to support their military activities. The KLA's tactics ranged from guerrilla warfare to targeted attacks on Serbian police and military installations. These operations were designed to disrupt the Serbian control over Kosovo and to demonstrate the KLA's capability to challenge the Serbian forces. The use of guerrilla tactics allowed the KLA to operate with a degree of mobility and surprise, making it difficult for Serbian forces to effectively counter their actions. As the KLA gained strength and support, particularly among the younger generation of Kosovo Albanians, the conflict intensified, spiraling into a cycle of violence and reprisal. The youth, driven by a desire for freedom and influenced by the growing nationalist sentiment, were eager to join the KLA and fight for their homeland. This surge in recruitment further fueled the conflict, leading to more frequent and severe clashes. The KLA's emergence was met with a brutal crackdown by Serbian security forces, further inflaming tensions and pushing the region closer to the brink of war. The Serbian response included widespread arrests, destruction of property, and violent suppression of any form of resistance. This heavy-handed approach not only targeted the militants but also affected the civilian population, leading to a humanitarian crisis. The international community, while condemning the violence, remained largely divided on how to address the crisis. Various countries and international organizations debated the legitimacy of the KLA's actions and the appropriate response to Serbia's crackdown. Diplomatic efforts were made to mediate the conflict, but the lack of consensus often hindered effective intervention. Some viewed the KLA as freedom fighters struggling against oppression, while others labeled them as terrorists, complicating efforts to find a peaceful resolution. This dichotomy in perception influenced international policies and media coverage, with some nations advocating for support of the KLA's cause and others calling for their condemnation. The complex nature of the conflict and the differing perspectives on the KLA's role made it challenging to achieve a unified approach to resolving the crisis. As the situation in Kosovo deteriorated, the international community intensified its efforts to find a diplomatic solution to the escalating crisis. Led by the United States, the European Union, and Russia, these efforts culminated in the Rambouillet Accords, a peace agreement negotiated in France in early 1999. The Rambouillet Accords aimed to end the fighting, grant Kosovo autonomy within Serbia, and deploy a NATO-led peacekeeping force to ensure the implementation of the agreement. However, the Rambouillet talks ultimately failed to bridge the divide between the warring parties. The Serbian delegation, under pressure from nationalist elements within Serbia, refused to accept the presence of foreign troops on Serbian soil, viewing it as a violation of their sovereignty. The KLA, while initially hesitant, eventually signed the agreement under pressure from the international community, but remained suspicious of Serbian intentions. The failure of the Rambouillet Accords marked a significant turning point in the conflict, pushing the region closer to the brink of all-out war. With diplomacy seemingly exhausted, the international community, particularly NATO, faced a critical decision: intervene militarily or risk a humanitarian catastrophe as the violence escalated. In this complex world, some actions are often seen as necessary evils, while others view them as outright illegal acts. It's a fine line, isn't it? The debate rages on with compelling arguments on both sides. But we must ask ourselves, where do we draw the line? What criteria do we use to determine the morality of these actions, and perhaps most importantly, who gets to decide? The conflict led to widespread ethnic cleansing, forcing countless families from their homes. Entire communities were uprooted, and the trauma of displacement left deep scars. The impact of these events reverberates through generations, creating a legacy of loss and longing. The scars of war are not always visible. For many, the psychological wounds are the most enduring. Survivors grapple with memories of violence and loss, and the communities struggle to rebuild trust and cohesion. The healing process is slow, and for some, the scars may never fully fade. In the aftermath of conflict, a fragile peace emerged. Efforts at reconciliation and rebuilding began, but the road to lasting peace is fraught with challenges. Tensions simmer beneath the surface, and the threat of renewed violence remains. The journey towards stability is ongoing, requiring constant vigilance and commitment. The legacy of war is complex and multifaceted. It shapes the present and influences the future. As we look ahead, it is crucial to learn from the past, to honor the memories of those affected, and to strive for a world where such conflicts are a thing of the past. The path ahead is not easy, but with determination and hope, a better future is possible. If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below.